Hello, today I'm going to be walking you through how to vibe code your designs from Figma using Antigravity as a tool to bring your Figma designs to life. Now, in this video, I just want to focus on how to move your designs from Figma to Antigravity because Antigravity is a free tool that you can use to vibe code your designs. You don't have to actually pay for the free models. And though your limits are going to be short, but then before you start paying, unless you want to actually do more, create more, and you've gotten used to the environment, then you can pay. All right, so you download Antigravity, you go to the Google Antigravity website. You can just search for Antigravity on Google, and then it's going to bring it up, and then you can just download it. All right, so once you have it installed, you also have your Figma file by your side, and you have the designs in Figma already. You are halfway there. And one thing you would need to do is once you have Antigravity installed, it's going to give you an interface that looks similar to this. It's going to ask you a few questions, how you want to set it up, what you want it to do. If you want it to just go ahead with prompt, and if you want it to ask for reviews, or if you want to have to be the one in control, it's going to ask you a lot of that question. Read it carefully. I choose review, like the user reviews the what the agent is doing, and that's the one I've been using so far. All right, so you log in into the Gravity. If you check right here, it's going to show you a login button. You log in. So once you are logged in, you are almost there. Another thing you have to do is to create a folder. So you click on open folder. It's going to go to the root file on your PC, and you are going to create a new folder here. All right, so I'm just going to be creating a new folder. I'm going to be calling it test. Let's just call it F4 bikers because that's the app I want to use. All right. So I have it right here. So I click on open, and it opens the interface for me like this. So I have it. It looks like an IDE, just like what we have on VS Code. And then you can have multiple folders inside of this. But this is just if you're a developer, this won't really be new to you. But as a designer, just like myself, this is actually very new. Sometimes you actually get confused. What do you do from here? And you have this agent here. You can actually use this. But another way to go about it is you can actually open the agent manager. But before you do that, one thing that will really help is if you have the Figma MCP enabled. So you would go to MCP servers, clicking on these three dots, you go to MCP servers, and then you search for Figma. If you don't have it installed, it's going to show you that it's not installed. So once it opens up, you are going to see install here. So you click on install, and then it gets installed. And you can see to configure it, you don't need any configurations, and all the tools are available, and they are switched the way they're supposed to be. All right, so I'm going to close that up. And the next thing I'm going to do is open the agent manager. Now, opening the agent manager is going to show you this interface, and on this interface you can start a new conversation. You can actually have different workspaces. So you can see we have a workspace called for bikers now because that's the folder that is opened, and you can see I have other workspaces based on projects I've been using to test out this product. Another thing is that you can actually it's going to actually write everything in the local environment on your PC. So that's one great thing about it. So one day, if you decide not to use Antigravity anymore, you want to use Cursor, you want to use VS Code, fine, it's going to actually pick up your project where you left off. This has quite a number of models. So on the free tier, you actually have all these models available to you, but the usage counts and the limits are actually very small and very short. So you can actually hit your limit very fast. But then you have all of these models, and that's why I love Antigravity, because it actually gives you access to more models than most other platforms and other IDEs. I have an app I want to work on. It's called For Bikers app, and I have it opened in my Figma file. So this is the Figma file for the app, and I have all the screens here. One thing you would want to do is to enable the Figma MCP on your Figma file. If you click on the dev mode, you can actually find it here in the dev mode and enable it. If you can't find it in the dev mode, you can actually click on this Figma icon up here. Once you click on it and you check preference, it's actually going to show on the list of preferences there. And for me, it doesn't show, so I actually just use the developer mode to access it. Another thing you can do is export all of the files here as a PDF. So you can do that if that works for you. I love to create a .md file to put into the Antigravity tool to help it to understand the styles, the colors, and everything in my design. So you just export frames to PDF, and I have done that already. So I'm just going to go into any of the AI tools that you love to use. I'm going to be using GPT for this, and I can also try it in Claude so you see explicitly what we have here. GPT was a lot for me when I was actually designing this product. Let's just try Claude. Let's see if we can upload it. I'm going to try to upload the file. Claude got it right, so I'm just going to paste the link in this Claude. I'm going to give it a prompt. I'm going to say something like, I have this I design and I want to create a dot MD with this house. So let's see something like the flow is available in this file in this link. So I put the ChatGPT link. I say prepare this document like a NX product designer with 8 years of product management and ownership experience. All right, so we're gonna give it that to work on. Let's see what it comes up with. So let's see if the flow is still going on. All right, so Claude is still doing its own thing, and let's wait for it to finish. So he just told me that the ChatGPT link requires a login to view, but because it has all the screens I've provided it, then it's going to use that to, it understands the entire design. So it's going to use that to actually generate the document I am asking for. So it's creating the document right now. It's trying to generate it. Let's see the result it comes up with. All right, and it has created the file. So you can see it has extracted the files, the colors. So you see we have brand orange, and it says increase orange to this color. There's a gradient in there, so it has written everything and what each page is supposed to have. And I like it because it's actually very detailed with what it does. You can see the brand red deep, you can see the color, the variations of colors, and it's even added a table of content, which is very fantastic. All right, I'm just going to export this, so I'm going to download it. I'm not going to download it as PDF, so it's going to download for podcast design document.md. All right, so moving forward, we're going to go back into Antigravity, and we're inside Antigravity now. So here on this screen, I'm going to add a file. So I'm going to upload a file. It's going to say add file, but so I can just go here and say file and say let's say open. I should do it. All right, and I can just drag it and drop it here. And okay, so we have this already. So we have all of these. So I go back into the agent mode, and now I can reference that file and call it and say for bikers. At for bikers, you can say for bikers MD file. So I'm just going to reference that and say I have this app I want to build, and I have the designs ready, and I would like to build out the flows one by one, starting with the splash screen and onboarding. All right, so what this does now is that I've given it this, but then we don't have any file. I don't have any other document. I don't have any other, like, I don't, all the assets are in Figma. So, and that's not really the best way to go about it. Things that would be nice is to have your assets. So you say like images, it will images for you right there. If you tell it to generate images and put them in the app for you by itself. But things like logo and all of that, you can actually export them. You can actually those, and then you can import them and project. But now, to go, what I'm going to just tell it is that I am going to tell it that this is to be a mobile app, a React native app. So show me the implementation plan and also the best language to write it in. It should work on iOS and Android. Also, download and install any dependencies needed. Let's begin with the implementation plan first. All right, so the more you can remember, the more you can think of, the more prompts you can come up with, the better, because you're actually going to, this is the implementation process. So it's just going to like bring out a plan, and let's just start with the implementation plan first, and let's go. So it's going to do its own thing. It's going to generate an implementation plan for us, which we can then review at the end of the day. And after reviewing it, we can decide if we want to go ahead with it or not. So you see, it's just going to like, so it's asking access. Do you want it to access it? So I'm just going to say it should allow. So it's going to analyze the document and understand the document better. So now it's doing its own thing. So it's creating the implementation plan. So we need to first open it. We can't just click on proceed just like that. So you can actually comment on any part of this document.
In the next video, I will show you how Antigravity built out the app and how well it did. Stay tuned, thank you, and see you in the next part.